my name is Nevada Conley, and I am the new Nevada Ambassador, which is kind of fun. I definitely feel like I'm in the right state, that's for sure. Now,
Definitely.
yeah, I know. Believe it or not, I was born in Washington. So I have not always lived here in Nevada. And we moved to Nevada from Washington in 2019, August of 2019. And I was actually, at the time, I was a dental hygienist. I was a dental hygienist for about 12 years before I started my notary journey. But really it was 2020 when COVID hit. My dental hygiene career, it just changed everything. I mean, in the medical field, in the dental field, it changed everything. And I went from, basically being able to use I used my like power tools for everything to not being able to use my power tools. And my body just went downhill fast. My wrist got sore. I had sciatic nerve problems real bad. And so I had to find something that I could still do to support my family and, make up that income and all that. And so my mom actually is the one who had said, she had mentioned the notary thing. She's like, well, one of my friends is a notary and she makes really good money. And so I started looking into the notary game. And then, who starts popping up on my screen all over
Mark.
the place? Good old Mark Wills with his, crazy.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. And so he definitely drew me in, and that's what kind of like got me started. So then I started looking into the loan signings and realizing that that's how you make your money as a
Yeah,
notary, at least,
sure.
I mean, people do it with general notary work, but as a loan signing agent, it's, easier, I think, to make money that way. So I did end up purchasing the course, and I jumped right into the course. I think I purchased the course and was working on getting commissioned at the same time. And I ended up getting my commission in May of 2021. And so was going through the course, doing the loan documents. I didn't do my first notarization until July. And I'm sure everybody remembers their very first notarization. Mine was just a general notary work. And I remember I stamped his document, and I had stamped my document I had stamped a document just to like use my stamp, stamped it, and it was upside down. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, he's gonna know this is my first ever because my stamp is upside down. And so anyways, but it was just because the paper was upside down. So tip to the new notaries, if you haven't checked your stamp, make sure your stamp on the top matches the stamp on the bottom. And so anyway, so that was my very first notarization. That was in July. And so it was shortly after that I said, I was trying to do the signing services, but working a full-time job, it was hard for me. So I said, I am just going to quit, and I'm going to jump in with both feet and do loan signings full time. And so that's what I did. And I started with the Kelvin Darville method of just going down the signing service
Yes.
list that Mark gave us. Um, all the meanwhile going through the course, and I printed out the documents, and I'd make my husband sit with me at the table and, pretend like he was the buyer and just practice, practice, practice. And so August, so then that was August was my first month of like full-time loan signings, and I made a whopping $685. And but then it was kind of at that point going through that signing service list, and I had done a few, I felt pretty confident. So I was like, you know what, this is not going to get me where I want to go fast enough. So I said, I'm going to go direct. So I started marketing my tail off, and got in with a couple of great offices. So then in September, I made, I had hit over $5,000 that I had brought in. And then in October, I was over $7,000
Mm.
all from just going direct and just trying to make it happen. And so then after that, things did slow down a little bit. And so I was like, okay, well, I need to, what else can I do to, make myself marketable? And that was when I got in, I started looking into the RON signings. And so it was literally in December then that I got my RON certification or commission. And so then I did my first RON signing. So then I started marketing to all my same people because, I have all these escrow officers that are already using me. And I had a couple of them that were like, oh my gosh, you do RONs? That's so exciting. We only have one guy that does it. And nobody really has any good things to say about him, but we have to use them because we don't know anybody else. And so they started sending me all their RONs. And so then I did my first RON. I got commissioned in December. I did my first one in January. And same thing, like I felt like I was a new signing agent again because you're on, it's like a whole different ball game. And so I did my first one in January, but I got through it and it was fine. And you learn something new every single time you do one. And the RONs are what actually prompted me to start my signing service because I had gotten my RONs were exploding. I was getting so much work doing RON, but I would have escrow officers ask if I could do foreign signers, and we can't in Nevada. And so I had to say no, and I hate saying no. And so so that's when my signing service actually started, was because I said, I think it was actually at a conference. It was at something where we were listening to guys who were who had a RON platform, and they had said, like, partner up with somebody else. Like, if you can't do it, partner with somebody. If they can't do it, you could do it. And so I said, well, shoot, this was, Mark always says the next step is a signing service. I didn't think that I wanted that, but I guess I do. So I connected with another LSS student who lived in Virginia, and she said she could do biometrics. And so I said, okay, great. Well, if you can do these for me, I can pay you this for, a deed, and I can pay you that for a seller's package. Does that work? She said, yeah, great. So we had this fabulous little relationship, and I was just keeping track of all of her stuff on an Excel sheet. But then I had to find more, because if she wasn't available, if she wasn't available, well, what do you do? So I had to start finding more notaries. And I think I was going to like Signing Order. I wasn't on the platform, but you can go to like signingagent.com or whatever. And so that's how I was finding notaries. And so I found a couple others who could do the biometrics, and it was going really well. And so then I said, well, shoot, maybe I should jump into the mobile signings too. And so that's when I decided to join. I actually got on Signing Order because the Excel spreadsheet it was difficult to keep track of everything, when they were paid and how to pay them. And so I joined Signing Order in June of 2023. And so then I started marketing for my, nationwide mobile notaries, worldwide RONs, to all of my current escrow officers. And just at first, just like a couple that I had a really great relationship with, like I didn't want to blast it out to everybody. I needed to start small and, kind of work my way up. And so I did. And so they started sending me a couple of their, a couple signings here and there. And as I got more comfortable, so then I started marketing more. And then I kind of got to a point where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so busy with the signing service, but I was still trying to do signings. I finally just had to say, I can't do any more signings, because when you're sitting at the table with your client, you want to give them everything you have, right? And I felt bad because I was on my phone because I had notaries calling and texting me with questions, or, an order would come in. And so then I felt bad because I couldn't give that signer my 100% attention. And I didn't want that for my clients, or, like my clients' clients. And so I had just said, I'm sorry, I can't do my signings anymore, but I have lots of great notaries that still can. And so, yeah. And so this last year, my signing service, our yearly revenue was like $185,000. So
Wow.
yeah, so we're doing pretty good. I know. Thank
Good
you.
good
And
job. Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. And I just hired my first scheduler. So if you guys, as I send signings out, if you see anything, her name's Deb. Thank you, Jessica, for actually referring her. She was your gal. I know. She's doing great. And she's super nice. And she's based out of Oregon. So, but if you guys hear anything from her, say hi. And
Beth.
yeah. So anyway, so that's kind of my notary story. So I also kind of just wanted to go over some of the things for the Facebook group that we're in. So you guys probably know, but the Facebook group is only for, Nevada notaries. And we are based around the loan signing system. Not everybody has taken the course, but that's kind of our background, and we have Mark that stands behind us to help us, with everything. And so I just want to just send out a reminder that if you guys ever see anybody that's trying to, create their own meetups, or is being negative, or, anything like that, don't hesitate to reach out to me, because I now am, I can kick people out if we need to, if people aren't following our, good LSS way of being supportive. And we're here to help each other and help all of our businesses grow. We're not trying to put
Exactly.
anybody down, or, we want everybody to do well. There's enough business out there for all of us. So just keep that in mind as, we're all in the group. Let me know if you guys hear or see anything. And I've had a couple people actually reach out to me and say, hey, can I post this in the group? And I'm like, well, if you change this a little bit, you can, but otherwise, no. So if you ever have a question and, want to reach out to me and say, hey, can I put this on there, or, this is happening, can I post it? Feel free to reach out to me. Because we can definitely, work together if we can. But yeah, so that was it. So I don't
Excellent.
know, do you guys have any questions for me or anything?
How long does it take you to get your RON? Because my sister and I, which is Angel Gomez, we're starting our business just as loan signing agents, and eventually we hope to become a signing service because we know that it's gonna become that once you start getting that business flow. So
Mhm.
we kind of want to prepare for that, but we also want to start doing the RONs as well and get certified for that. How s- how how easy is that, and how soon does it take place?
Mhm.
I don't know if I'm asking the right question.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, it's super easy. It's just, it's very similar to getting, well, because you already have to have your notary commission, like your regular
Mhm.
notary commission. So
Correct.
then it's just another course that you take and
Hmm.
test, like it's another 2 or 3 hour course, I believe, that you take. And
Okay.
then you have to take the exam, and then you pay the fee. And you just have to let the state of Nevada, the Secretary of State wants to know what platforms you're going to be using. And so you do have to let them know what platform you're on. Um, and that's
I
it.
guess that's where my question is, because how do I know what platform to get on, or where I would get business for
Mhm.
or complete a run?
Yeah. So the Secretary of State lists the approved platforms for Nevada. So if you go to the
Okay.
Secretary of State's website, you can look up and they have listed all of the approved platforms. So
Okay.
that's where I would recommend you start, is
Okay.
on that list. Um,
Okay.
And then I literally just had to go through, like I would go to their website, see, like what does their website look like? Do they have good, you do want to make sure that whatever platform you choose has good customer service. So like if you're on with a client and you have a problem, you need to make sure that somebody's going to be there to help you work through that problem with your client,
Hmm.
because you want to be able to get that signing done. So making sure that that that's one thing that they're good about, is helping you when you're on with a client. I know like Proof is a popular platform. Blue Notary is a popular platform. Um, I don't know. I was on Doc Verify. That was the very first platform I got on, but that doesn't even exist anymore. They were bought out and changed. So I don't and then Proof was the other one that I'm on. But I know if anybody else has a platform that they recommend, pipe up
Please
and
share.
yeah.
Thank
I
you
have
so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
a question. Should I just jump in?
Yeah, go ahead.
What course would you recommend to learn how to be a final signer at a title company?
Yeah, so the loan signing system is the best course, I think. That's the one that Mark Wills does. And so he walks you through, like he even has the list of secretaries of states on there on how to get your notary public. And then he goes into teaching you the loan documents, and then he goes into how to market to signing services, how to market direct. So the loan signing system is definitely the best course.
And how would I reach out to Mark?
Yeah, let me see. There's a chat in here somewhere, right?
Nevada, you posted in, I believe you're in the beginning when there's actually a 10% discount on this course
Mm-hmm.
in the Facebook group.
Yeah, and let me see. I can post let me see if this is on here. Yeah, I'll put the link in the chat. So that link I just posted will take you right to the course to sign up for it. And the other thing too, to answer your other question, Candy, on where to get business, some of the Ron platforms do offer, for them to find you business. I never had great success with that, but I do know some notaries have had good success with that. But I treat my Rons just like I did my mobiles. So I was just marketing direct. And actually, when I first started, I was marketing direct and I started calling the other signing services and was like, hey, I'm a Ron notary. Do you guys do Rons? I'd love to help you, be one of your preferred notaries. So I literally just marketed it like I did my mobiles. And yeah, so my first signing was with one of my directs. And yeah, so it's just like a mobile, unless, unless you can find a good platform that will bring you work. But I don't know. I never had good success with that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for your help. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Most def.
No problem. And I love Rons, and y'all need to reach out to me and let me know if you do Rons, because I still do a lot of Rons and I need lots of good Ron notaries. So,
Okay.
yes.
It's on our agenda for the next thing that we add to our services.
Yes.
Yep.
That's perfect. Oh, somebody put in the chat, it takes about 8 weeks to approve your Ron ability.
Yeah, that was from me.
Okay.
Yeah. It's taking about that long.
Is it? Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
It is.
Well, I mean, when I first got my commission, just my regular commission, that took like 4 months, 3 to 4 months. So to me, by the time I was waiting for the Ron, approval, because the state will notify you by email, hey, you're good to go. It was about 2 months. And I thought, well, that wasn't as bad as the initial, getting my commission. So I was like, I'll take any saved time I can get.
Amen.
So I just wanted to let everybody know who doesn't have their Ron capability yet, just to, manage your expectations.
And
I
it's
don't think on my notary commission, I didn't wait for the email or even for my certificate to come in the mail. I actually just kept on checking the Secretary of State site and it showed approved. And actually, if you click on one of the things there, it actually gives you your commission number. So I was like, oh, let me start ordering my stuff.
Yeah, and I was definitely checking too, but one day I did get the email and then I went back just to confirm everything was on when you got what is it? The silver flume? You can log in and see. So yeah, you definitely need to stay on top of them. I mean, I did have to call a couple times like, hey, you guys still have me in there, because my status isn't changing at all. And don't be afraid to call them. They're actually really nice up there, but I only bug them if it's been a long time.
Right.
Okay.
So
taking note on that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Bug them. No, I'm just joking.
Does anybody else have any questions or concerns or anything? Because I was going to, just being that I have a signing service, I was thinking that I would go over just some of the common mistakes that I see coming from notaries. So then you guys can make sure that that's something that, you know, you're double checking when you do your signings. So one of the, and I just had it happen today, actually, both of these just happened today. When you are doing a split signing, so if you're signing the one person, but signer two is signing separately, just make sure in your notary block that you are, if both signers' names are pre-printed in your notarial section, just make sure that you're crossing out whoever is not there because they're not present for the notary. You did not notarize their signature. So cross through their name and initial to show that they were not a part of the, you know, of the notarization. And then secondly, if you're getting documents that are from out of the area and they already have the pre-printed, you know, county and state on there, just make sure that you're changing that to the county and state that you're physically in for your notarization. Those are like the two most common mistakes that I see. And then thirdly, the other one that I see a lot and always gets me is
mechanically means worksheet, something like that.
yeah. Yes, that one.
They have
Always,
to initial.
always have them
The
initial on the
ability to
second page.
prepay or to pay back the loan.
Yeah.
Yes.
So whatever
yes.
that one is, if there's initials on the bottom, there's initials on page 1, there's initials on page 2. I get notaries often that say, I didn't think they had to initial page 2, but have them initial page 2. So just FYI. Especially if there's no other like signatures on that page, because then it's easier for the, if they weren't supposed to notarize it, they can just toss it and put in a clean one, but always have them initial, even if you're not 100% sure. And actually the other one I saw today too was there were 2 signers, but they didn't initial their loan application on the first page of the loan application. So if you've got 2 signers, make sure, you know, that they're initialing their section of the loan application.
It's Exhibit A, commercially reasonable means or mechanism worksheet.
There you go.
Got
Perfect.
it.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So those are kind of like my top mistakes that I'll see. Jessica, do you have anything off the top of your head that you see?
The one with when back to the split signing. Don't
or anything.
underline.
Wait,
What?
what?
I've had that happen where when it's a split signing and you're the first signer. I've had it where notaries have crossed out the actual signature line and not the notary block.
Yes. Same. Never cross out a signature line.
You're gonna have to go back.
Mm-hmm.
That one, I've seen that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Just paying attention to your notary block, because sometimes they don't put in who personally appeared in front of them when you have to fill it in. I see a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
So just paying attention to that.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing I was just gonna say, you said something that sparked me and now it's gone again. Oh, I was gonna say, so at least in Nevada, I think probably in most states, on any recorded document, remind signers to keep their signature above the line. Because I know here, if they go to record a document and this signer's name has gone, their signature has gone under the line and it's into their printed name, title has to rewrite their name so it's not, so the pen's not impeding over their title. So if you're ever signing, you know, so every time I would say, please keep your signature above the line on just those documents that are going to get recorded. But I always remind them, just try to keep your signature above the line on this one. And so then just because that makes the title company's job easier, they don't have to go back and rewrite stuff. Like that's always my goal, is to try to make escrow's job as easy as possible, right? So you're doing everything
Yes.
you can to have them do less and just be able to take the documents and submit them where they need.
But pardon, like, if we could back up one subject, you said that when there's the dual signings with signer one, signer two is in the same room with you. You said that you strike out signer two's name? No,
No, only if signer two is signing separately.
right,
So if there's two signers on the documents, but you only have one in front of you, you just need to make sure that that's the only name that shows up in your notary block. So the other signer, you're gonna one line through their name in your notary section, not where they would sign, but down in your notary section, you would cross through their name if it's pre-printed. If you're writing it in, then you're just gonna write in whoever was in front of you. But if it's pre-printed, cross through the other signer's name and then initial that change.
cross through by the notary block, but not on the other spot on the page.
Right.
Right.
Not the signature line. Mhm.
Or not initialing crossouts. That's another common one I see too.
Mhm. I have learned though that some notaries say that's not required in our state. We don't have to initial that. And so I was like, oh, okay. So I don't know. So there's that. I know in Nevada we do.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Does anybody know how long it takes to get approved for your dumb Google business profile?
It's been horrendous.
They
Oh, no.
suspended me saying that I am giving false information, so I had to upload my business license. And now they're only 30% through.
Ah, that's a bummer. I don't know, but you know who would know is are you on the software program?
Yeah.
Yes.
They said you just gotta wait it out.
Oh, really? Dang it.
I know. I was like, I put my fictitious firm name, I put my business license. Like, what? How much more? What do I need?
Shoot. Yeah, because Roman he's the king of your Google business profile.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's who I would say go, ask those questions to, but if you already have.
Yeah. I just thought maybe somebody might have a little, hey, I did this and it worked, but yeah, I haven't gotten that yet.
If Roman doesn't have that, I don't know that anybody would.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Did you appeal it?
I absolutely did.
Okay, so I did the same. It took a total of about 8 days from the time that they booted me, which they booted me in the middle of signing up, right?
Mhm.
I just put in a little bit of information and boom, I was out.
Yep.
So I finished it, gave them all the information you said. About 8 days later, I got an email saying you're good. So as long as you're legit, they'll get to it.
Hmm. Yeah, I did. I also saw in one of the forums that it said if you put that you're 24 hours, that's a red flag to them. And I was like, okay, so I changed the business hours. I uploaded my business license. I did everything that I could as far as for any tips or advancements that I could use, and still nothing. And it's been 8 days.
Probably coming soon.
Pray.
You can
In the
look
name
and
of
on their
Jesus.
site. It'll tell you it's under review too. So
Yeah, it does. It says that,
okay.
and it says it's
Yeah.
30% processing or something.
Nevada, can I ask another question?
Certainly.
So on the 1003, you talked about briefly at the top where the initial is if there's joint borrowers. The way I have been doing it is if it was joint borrowers, one signed one, initialed one, and one initialed another. And recently I had the kicked back because they wanted both parties to initial both places. And I just hadn't seen that before, but it was back east. And they said, yeah, that's what we do back here. So I just we're going to throw that out there that it can happen. And it doesn't hurt to have both people initial it, apparently. So more is better.
That's what that's what I was gonna say is because most of mine are here, like my documents all come back to here. I haven't had anybody say we need a second initial on this one. but I have notaries often who will have them initial on both sections. So both borrowers initial on the one signer section, both initial on the other section. And that is a good way to just make sure that you're covered across the board for sure. So that doesn't hurt anything at all. Mm-hmm.
How often do you have these Zoom calls?
So we're gonna do we'll do a Zoom like every other month because we do monthly meetups. So this one we're doing Zoom. The next one we'll do in person in the Las Vegas area so we can all get together and see each other in person. And then the following month we'll do Zoom. So kind of every other month we'll do Zoom, and then every other month will be in person. And so I'll come up, if you guys have anything specifically you would love to hear about for a meeting or, something like that, please let me know. I'm open to ideas.
Okay, and the only way to find out about the meetups or the Zoom calls is to check the Facebook page regularly.
Yes. I would post them. I probably will post things on, on my personal Facebook page. But yeah, the group is the best place to see when events are happening for sure.
And what's the name of your personal Facebook page, please?
Nevada Conley.
I wanted to add about the 1003. It's good practice to still just, even if it is a single borrower, still good practice to still have that single borrower initial, because if they don't need it, they can always toss out that page.
Yep. Do you make notaries go back if they didn't get it initialed?
Depends on the escrow officer. Some escrow officers want it and some escrow officers don't.
Okay, gotcha. Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Yeah.
Same with trustee verbiage or manager or,
Oh my God, yes. Call.
Yeah,
Call. If you don't know, call.
Yep,
Yeah, it's better to verify.
always ask. Yeah, I do have it in all of my orders under the client instructions. I specifically tell you if it's a seller signer, I tell you exactly how that escrow officer wants it signed. And then I also put it in the special instructions, and then I'll also send it to you as a note. But if you ever have any questions, to whoever gave you the signing, always reach out because they, it is important to a lot of escrow officers that it is signed a certain way, like if with the verbiage or not.
Yeah.
And always with a loan package 100%, because that's up to the lender at that point, however they want the loan documents signed.
Yeah, because instructions can look generic, but I have it tailored per escrow officer,
Same.
where one will say this one needs trustee verbiage, and then the other one looks like the exact same order from the same company, but that escrow officer, the same office, wants it without. Yeah, always read the instructions on that.
Can I add to that? I did a signing for Nevada yesterday in office, and it was for a reverse, and the guy, he was an older gentleman. He had I guess neuropathy in his hands. So I went back because he was like, oh, that's a lot of pages to sign. So I went back to the escrow officer and asked her if it was okay for me to write in the dates for him. And then she wanted to verify with the company that sent her the loan documents, whether or not trustee needed to be in there. So she came and told me after the fact that they said it was okay for me to write in trustee after his name because they wanted it. So the escrow officer, it's not bad if you ask them a question.
Right.
Yeah, no, especially if you're in the office. Most offices are very friendly and would prefer you to ask than for them to have to figure out you did something wrong and have to go back and get it corrected. So they 100% would rather you ask the question. Don't ask a million questions, or, if you come across a couple things, go back with a couple questions so you're not constantly interrupting them. But definitely they would prefer you to ask than to not know and get it wrong. I'll find some good speakers and stuff to start coming in for our like in-person meetups. So we'll have people that can present for us and learn, maybe some escrow officers and loan officers, see what they like and how to market and all that. Are you guys most everybody, are you guys doing direct, or are you guys mostly signing service, or?
A signing service so far.
And have you been calling signing services to ask to get on their lists?
Absolutely.
Good. That's awesome.
I have not yet because I'm still working a full-time job graveyard
Mhm.
and it's very difficult. So I'm concentrating on setting up the CRM and the website and all that other stuff first.
Mhm.
And trying to push anything that I get to my sister so that to build hers. And so that at least one of us gets it, but hopefully she'll get it first
Mhm.
so that we're not losing anything off of the table. So,
Mhm.
but I'm getting out there too. I'm trying to, it's hard doing it all.
Hear ya. Very good. Well, yeah, and even signing service wise, I mean, if you have a signing service that's been, good to you and has been giving you lots of signings, thank you notes go a long way for even signing services. So, it's a very similar marketing even for signing services and in person. It's just showing gratitude and willing to go, the extra mile for everybody, whether it's signing service or direct. So.
I have a question about signing services. I did a signing in December. I was supposed to get paid $125, but it doesn't look like I'm gonna get paid.
Have you reached out to them to ask?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, email, phone call. Yeah.
And you've just not gotten a response?
Well, if he does answer the phone, he says, "Oh, someone just walked in my office. I gotta go. Bye."
I'm sorry, that's rough. Well, if that's happening, don't take another signing from that signing service.
Is that common? Was that like something unusual? Should I just?
I mean, that's up to you. No, that's not common. Most signing service owners will pay you. Even if I haven't gotten paid on the file yet, after a certain amount of time, I will still pay my notaries. There are ones that slip through the cracks. So if anybody needs payment from me, please let me know. But most signing services are like a net 45-ish, like 30 to 45. So you're not going to get paid right away. It could be, a month and a half later, but most signing services should pay you and will pay you. So no, I would not say that that's normal, but if you're experiencing that, I would say maybe don't take another signing from them. That might be the norm for that one. And so just be cautious with taking any more from them. Yeah, that's a tough one. I know I had another notary reach out to me about that same thing. I don't know what signing service it was, but she had said she hadn't been paid in a long time. And I'm like, well, just keep at them. Don't take another one from them then. That's tough. Yeah. And and payment, even if you're working direct, I've had to write off so many signings because title didn't get paid. And typically if title doesn't get paid, they're not going to pay you because they don't have funds to pay you. They typically just pay you directly from the file. And so, just, something to keep in mind. And relationship wise, signing service is a little bit different. But with once you start going direct and you have those relationships with direct offices, it's just I always ask, hey, I, have this unpaid invoice. Would you mind looking into it? And then they tell me, sorry, we didn't get paid on it. Oh, that's okay. No problem. I'll just, we just write it off. And so just something to keep in mind once you go direct, if the file doesn't close, there's a good chance you won't get paid. I did have a couple of really great escrow officers that were like, I'm reaching out to the agent. You did your job. You should get paid. And I'm going to try to get the agent to pay you, which was super nice, but that's not also very common either. So just, going forward with your marketing and in your business, just know that there's definitely going to be times that you did a signing, but you're not going to get paid for it because title didn't get paid. So they don't have any funds to pay you with.
I'll come up with a question. So just as far as I know we've texted a lot, so it's good to see you face to face.
I know.
I know I've been going to direct and doing a lot of marketing, and it's kind of that catch-22 of when I go to an office, I am Fidelity approved through several signing services, but then they're like, well, you need to be Fidelity direct, but to get direct, you need, 3 escrow officers to vouch for you. But then I'm like, well, it's that always like you need experience, but you can't get it experience without having it kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like I don't know, like that's kind of where I'm at right now as far as uh, and I don't want to reach out to. I have several, you give me a lot of stuff, like, and I have the offices that I have a good rapport with the escrow offices there, but that's not my client. Like that's not. So I feel like I can't ask them for a reference, kind of a thing. Is there any
Well,
advice for that?
as far as fidelity approval, I believe you have to have it's I don't think it's just a referral. I think you have to have other escrow officers who work at Fidelity offices to like be behind you. So like I like personally, if you because I so like if you were to go to one of like my escrow officers and say, hey, would you mind, could I put you down as a reference, or would you mind writing me a referral? I would be totally fine with that, because you're not asking for their business, right? You're just asking for them to write to write a reference for you. I would personally be okay with that. But I don't know that that's what they mean for fidelity approval, for it to have like 3 references. I think it has to be like other Fidelity escrow officers. And when I did it, I had to be a notary for 2 years, no matter what. Like it didn't matter how many signings I had done. It didn't matter how many escrow officers I had behind me. They said, you have not been a notary for 2 years. Come back after it's been 2 years. And in my head, I was like, so just because I've had my commission for 2 years does not mean that I've actually done anything, notarial.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that was silly to me, but that was
the last time I got my commission here in Nevada, because I was back in California like 100 years ago when I turned 18. And then when I got it in Nevada, I didn't do anything for like 2 years. I got the commission, everything, and then I would just do random signings for my friends. Like my friends are like, I need a notary, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have that. It's in my office. It's in my drawer. Let me do that for you.
That's funny.
And until I decided to quit my job and just, focus on this full time. And so yeah, it's definitely that every, like when I go to title office, they're like, well, how long have you done this? And I have all my stuff. I have everything done. I have a mobile office, like everything's in my car. I've literally been printing while I'm driving to go to a place. Like I'm so OCD with all of it, but I'm in that spot where every time, like when I go to a title office, they're like, are you Fidelity approved? And I'm like, yes, through several signing services.
Yeah, that's not quite the same. You do have to try to get personally Fidelity approved to be able to work directly with the title company. Have they sent you like the paperwork?
I've got it. I know, like I've gone through like emails back and forth, and I think I just need to like focus more on it and really sit down one day and kind of get on the phone and nag people about it.
Yeah. Well, and if you have somebody that you can be in contact with that sent you the information, you can, then there can be conversations back and forth. Like it says here that I need 3 references. Can it be anybody, any reference, or does it have to be a Fidelity escrow officer? So then you could have somebody to actually ask those questions to. So whoever sent you, the application, I would reach back out to them and just find out, come up with some specific questions that could help you and reach back out to them.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. Good luck.
I just sent in the chat what I used to get from someone who didn't pay for like 260 days.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
I was patient.
Yeah, you were.
Very.
I was like, I don't have an attorney, but I have Legal Shield, which I've heard Legal Shield actually works, like when you need them for instances like this.
Oh,
I was ready to use Legal Shield.
nice. Yeah. Amy, did you see that? Is Amy on here? I thought I saw her come in. Because she was
Can
the
I
one
just
that was.
ask what Legal Shield is?
From what I understand, it's a company that has legal counsel that can represent you when it's needed.
Ah, okay.
It's like
Also,
there's a month that I pay into.
yeah,
Okay.
and if you look on the NNA and under membership benefits, that's one of the membership benefits. I don't know if it's a discounted price or if it's just the regular price because I didn't look into it, but it's there for us
Okay. Okay.
along with a lot of other benefits.
Because I actually have legal services through my job,
Oh.
through the casino that I work at. And so I have attorney services on retainer, and I don't have to pay anything. I just have to give them a call and say, I need this, or I need that, or I need a trust done, or I need whatever. And so, cool.
That's a great
Good
benefit.
to know. Yeah, it definitely. Okay, perfect.
Alrighty, guys. Well, our hour is just about up here. Thanks you guys so much for coming. I appreciate it. And I'll keep you posted as to when we're going to do our in-person one, and where that will be at, and what we'll be doing for that. So yeah, thanks so much for coming. I'm so excited. And
Thank you.
if nobody, if anybody, I posted the link in the chat for the loan signing system. But if you guys have any questions or anything about the course, don't hesitate to reach out for me. It's what I took. It's what helped me get to where I am now. I, stand behind it 100%. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions, and we'll see you in the Facebook group and then hopefully in person next month. Okay.
Sounds
All
good.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Nevada.
Yeah. Thank you.
Reno.